So welcome, folks. This is a 1v1 in a 3v3 tournament, so it's kind of a mixed tournament situation. This map is called Tarim Basin, and this is part of the World Desert Championships, which has some really cool maps, and I'll be covering as much as I can this weekend. Then a week off with family, and then I'll be down to business to the end of the event. Now, I'm going to be finding out some of the things about these maps as well, because I haven't seen every single one. Even though I haven't covered a ton, I'm always watching, and I talk to a lot of players too. Big thing here is you start with 3 yurts. They are different sizes, but they both still give you 5 pop space. Talk about a scam. And then there's like these areas with Gaia units. In some cases, they actually is an area you have to be careful about because there will be an army. In this case, not an issue, it seems. And I don't know, there might be, maybe there's a way that you can control this later on, but you maybe have to kill the units first. But we have Lix playing as the Malay. We have Cosmonaut, really underrated player from Turkey, in my opinion, who's on Team BlackSails here. He's playing as the Magyars. I'd say this matchup is pretty close. Both players seem to know the map, though. And they seem to know that it's important to get these extra boars. Other thing about this, there's a pile of wood there. That is 1,000 wood, so you could, in theory, place a lumber camp there later on. And players may wish to do that instead of placing a lumber camp on just normal trees. Now, in the corners, you've got the fortified walls, and you've got a wonder on both sides, all protected by fortified towers. This is where the majority of the gold is on the map. So, they're weaker fortified walls than a standard fortified wall, but this is an area players may need to move to for gold. I don't believe you can control the wonders, but I don't know. Maybe that's possible. I don't know if it's going to get to that point because this map is super open and aggressive. And then you got water through the middle. There's a little bit of stone and gold out there too, but obviously that's going to be tough to take. And then massive mountains. And around these mountains, you see quite a bit of stone. But there is no gold here. And 9 villagers start as well, so things are a little bit amped up and faster on this map. And welcome in, everybody. I see people saying hello. What's up, Lucas? Thanks again, Lava Man, Figgle. No 48-hour stream this week. Yeah, I don't know. Some other maps have Gaia units that will attack you, like Gaia archers. It's a bit interesting how the Camel Archer was there, but the Camel Archer never did anything. I also can't select the Camel Archer, but maybe that's a capture age thing. It's kind of hard for me to select the villager as well. And so scouts are going to engage here. Now, Lix is going to be up to feudal age way faster here because of the power of melee. And usually you're talking about the strength of the Magyars with their scouts, right? But if you get to feudal age faster, you get the extra speed and attack, and Cosmonaut's just like, please don't be up, please don't be up, please don't be up. And Lix is clearly waiting. And that's going to be a dead scout. There's nothing you can do about that if you're Cosmonaut. A lot of people will run away in those instances. What Cosmonaut did is actually the best case scenario. At least do as much damage as you can to your opponent there. There's the barracks now for Cosmonaut. Most likely going to be planning on scouts. His wood line's over here. And then Lix has gone for the trees in the back. The trees in the back have way more wood. These Italian pines have 300 wood per tree. And then the birch trees, oh, they have 500 wood per tree. Okay. That's not normal. That's like an altered map. Usually you only have 100 wood trees. 125 wood trees, which would actually be the trees that have a letter associated with them. So, like, these are tree Fs, for example. There's also, like, tree H, tree G, tree J, you know. I don't know if it goes to J, actually. But yeah, anyways. Birch trees normally don't have 500. And, ooh, nice poke there from Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut kills the scout. Lix is going to be rather annoyed by that. Lix is going to wall up here as well. I really like, someone says these maps are too stylized. These mountains, pyramids, and whatnot are annoying for S tier tournaments. I disagree. I think you can have maps that look cool and also be competitive. Now, I don't know how competitive the map is, right? It clearly a lot of what becomes clear at the first glance is that this map looks pretty. And there are a lot of maps in this tournament, so I think there are some that are better than others. But I actually really like the style and the theme. So I disagree there. Now, if it comes at the expense of competitiveness, that's where it could be a problem for sure. The Silver Lady says, if this is a 3v3 tournament, where are the other 4 players? Well, it's a 3v3 tournament, but to start it off, you play 3 separate 1v1s. And we're casting one of them. I know that part is a bit weird. I'm still not sure I like that aspect. But gives an opportunity here for Cosmonaut. I think Cosmonaut could be a better 1v1 player than Lix, for example, even though Lix is more well-known. So it gives him an opportunity for his team. His scouts get through here, hoping for a villager kill. Units are not exactly cooperating, because he also has to defend here, and Lix kills a Vil. So kind of rough for Cosmonaut right now. And loses one of his scouts there as well. Lix went heavy spears. Just trying to get the walls down. This could easily be a dead villager because these are Magyar scouts, but you know, it's going to be tough for Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut wants it. I think that's actually to the edge of the map, funnily enough. Well, maybe it shouldn't be, but I think it is. I don't know why my Age of Empires brain says it is. I think it's because I've experienced these things. Scouts coming back this way. And scouts just forcing another garrison there is really nice. That's like 10 or so vills that don't work there for a couple seconds. It can be really frustrating too. If you try and kill somebody there time and time again and it just doesn't work out, it can be really frustrating. And Lix now has his walls down. And now he can use his own scouts to fight these scouts off. And Cosmonaut's fully open here, so I think Cosmonaut's still going to be hunting for that weak Vil. And there he is, but this is looking pretty nice for Lix, I'd say. And Lix is going to get the snipe there. And Cosmonaut kills both of them. So, well played, Cosmonaut, to clean things up at his base. Hasn't gone to gold or anything yet. The gold's super exposed here. In a normal map, you'd really want to go to gold, probably switch into Archer soon. But Lix's gold is like kind of in the back here. I guess Cosmonaut had a similar opportunity to wall using his mountain. I really like the position for Lix right now. It's a best of 5. The first point is decided by 3 separate 1v1s. And then you have games 2 through 5 are 3v3s. Does that make sense? I can understand why it's confusing. But yeah, we talked a little bit about it at the start of the stream, right? Like, you know, the beautiful thing of team games, I think, in 2024 is you could have, like, well-prepared strategy beat better 1v1 players. As some people were saying, you know, to incorporate 1v1s just kind of leans towards the favorites a little bit more. Which I would tend to agree with. But I think that so far, the sets have been really close in the main event. We haven't seen some of the really big teams play just yet in the main event, but we will see that. And we'll see how it goes. Certainly, though, like, I'm leaning towards LYA in game 1 here because they could put Lix in a 1v1, they could put Yo in a 1v1, and they can put Vivi in a 1v1. And I think where BlackSails can do well here today is in the team game aspect. Lix right now, kind of Dream start is probably a bit much, but a really nice start, all things considered. He's killed 2 Vils, he's lost 0, he's fully walled, and he's going to be going into archers, and he's clicked up to Castle Age already. The thing that's tricky about this map is going to be the gold, right? Like, if the map, let's say this is really competitive and close, what on earth are you going to do when you run out of these 6 tiles of gold near your TC? There's plenty of stone available, but I'm thinking, like, players are going to have to come out here. Now, what I don't know is if the towers attack you. It could be the towers are just for show, but if these towers actually attack, that's going to be a problem. You're going to need rams and whatnot. And then you have an opponent to fight. So there's a little bit of gold towards the river in the middle. We could even see docks there eventually. And some patrolling demos. There are relics positioned near the Gaia units. So you can always snag some of those. But relics are not going to account for, you know, everything you need in this game. I think seeing Lix is up already, Cosmonaut's going to be kind of worried. But the nice thing is Lix only has 4 archers. He's going to upgrade them now, but Lix really does not have a big... he doesn't have a big mass at all. Here Lix draws the scouts over to his own scouts and spearmen, gets the kills. That's really nice. And Cosmonaut focused here for the time being. Bodcanero's on the way for Lix. He's going to have 4 crossbowmen. Thing is, 4 crossbowmen with upgrades is still way better than anything Cosmonaut has. Cosmonaut doesn't have those upgrades in yet. He will have them in soon. Here Lix just calmly drops the house walls and protects. And now he's into the wood line. And oh man, even just the 2 extra scouts is super nice. These trees were always going to be awkward. Obviously, they're playing with small trees, but it's always going to be really awkward to see if there's a hole. And Lix has just played so smooth this game. Killed 6 villagers. I like the patience here as well. Knew to back away so he could get more kills. That's a 7th Vil kill now. And then he just runs behind. And behind, he's going to find the gold miners. Cosmonaut has to chase this down. Cosmonauts has no wood here. And this is going to be a crossbow war, so you always need to have villagers consistently on wood. He will drop a TC there. That could be really nice, actually. And if Cosmonaut can micro down these crossbows, and he's mixing in a knight as well, that could help. If he could take care of this, maybe he could start to stabilize a little bit more. Brings the scouts back. Just any amount of distraction for those crossbows could be nice. Weakened 2 of them. Hasn't killed them yet. And now the knight comes in. The knight will potentially die here. No, it doesn't go down. The crossbows do go down, though. And now Lix has his next army in the middle. The problem is Lix is going to have 8... Again, it's only 8 crossbows. But neither player really has a lot of army right now. So that's still more than what Cosmonaut has. And he's going to have ballistics. T90, the Gaia units aren't actually units. They're just reskinned foliage. I was wondering if there was something weird. Because when I select them, it doesn't select a unit and show HP. It is rather, I would say, unnecessarily confusing, because there's other maps in the tournament that have actual Gaia units. So, in terms of, like, consistency's sake, I don't love the fact that some of them are real units and some of them are, I guess, reskinned foliage, but appreciate the creativity, at least. I'm not sure Cosmonaut saw this. Not sure he has an idea that army's gone over there and Lix is going to sneak around. Townwatch is coming in with intention, right? This isn't just because he got pop capped. He knows that Lix should be at his base soon. He hasn't seen him yet. And Lix is going to hit him at the worst possible time in the worst possible spot. If these villagers leave, they have to run down the hill. And poor Cosmonaut, he's trying to do damage. He won't find any because Lix has army prepared. And he is just getting picked apart. We'll see. Like, in the team games, that'll happen soon after. I think Lix's team is still going to be the favorite, of course. But if you look at the lineup for LYA, they're all better 1v1 players than this BlackSails team. And now 17 villagers lost. And Cosmonaut is now hoping. This is where it's interesting, right? Cosmonaut is hoping his other teammates win their 1v1s. Because the GG's called. Nice play there from Lix. I don't know. I want to go back real quick. Is it like a map difference? Yeah, I mean, like, Lix seems... Maybe it's just because of how, like, big the mountains are. Lix seems to have realized that he could wall up quite nicely. But I guess Cosmonaut could have the same approach, right? He could have walled this way to the edge. And then from the TC to the... Yeah, Cosmonaut could have actually done a same wall. Taken the wood on the back. And that was the big thing. Cosmonaut thought there's 500 wood per tree in the middle. So let's take that. But it left him exposed there. And Lix just took no risks and played super safe. Now, he was kind of running out of wood at this point, but the damage was already done. He was already in such a good spot there. So that was really smart play from Lix. No risk Lix. That's what they call him. In 2024, at least. There's the difference in resources collected. 2,000 more resources collected there from Lix. More of every resource. And yeah, just dominated the fights. Like, what he did such a good job of there was surviving the scout rush of the Magyars and also sniping Vils. Usually you're just happy if you don't lose Vils against the Magyars. You don't necessarily need to kill any. But he kind of had the best of both worlds. Wow, this map is disgusting. Am I allowed to say that? I hope I'm allowed to say that. This looks horrible. Just horrible. Okay, 1 second. We're going to put Vivi up here. There's very little wood. Now, I can explain. The situation with the trees. Here we are. This is like the second 1v1 these guys have played. There's 3 separate 1v1s that happen, okay? You might be like, holy crap, there's a wood shortage here. Well, this map is all about piles, all right? So here we've got a pile of food. That's what it's called, okay? So that's like berries, I guess. And then here you have pile of wood. And there is 10,000 wood there. So you're still going to build a lumber camp. But you're probably not going to need to like refresh lumber camps like you would in a normal circumstance. In the middle is some water with lots of birds, which has no importance really. And here in the blue we got Vivi playing as the Byzantines, and then in the red we have Dragonstar playing as the Hindustanis. You also start with a mule cart on this. So obviously the Georgians and Armenians are the only 2 civs that can build them, but you do start with one here. Which is actually rather important for the hunt, I feel, because you also have a camel, and the camel cannot push the deer, Vivi. You see Vivi tried it? Vivi's done his homework, clearly. Yeah, you can't use, like, camel scouting units to push in deer. This is a slightly different camel than other camels. This looks like a very old, frail camel. His name is Yusuf. Maybe Yusuf means camel in another language, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. There are Gaia units protecting relics. These units will actually attack you. I think the Raider looks sick, by the way. This guy looks sick. But yeah, these will attack you, so you have to actually kind of stay away from them. I don't know if there's any other aspects where you can take control of the tents, for example, for pop space, but I don't see a lot of reason to be going out there. So, yeah, this is maybe a little unprofessional of me to say this map looks horrible, but, you know, it's just very deserty. But this is called the World Desert Championships, you know? And again, as I said before, I do appreciate the variety of maps that this tournament has. So I'm mainly doing it for content, you know? The React content. Someone says, I love that these maps are so WTF. Yeah. Here we go. I'm not certain on if you can dock the water. What's interesting is the birds that are flying around in a circle here are actually the same seagulls that typically fly around the dock. You don't realize it because we get so used to everything. But the next time you see a dock, look for the birds. I'm pretty sure it's the same little circular pattern of birds. So maybe there used to be docks here and they... Oh, and then they destroyed the docks. And after they deconstructed the docks, they made piles with the wood. It makes sense. That's how it happened. That's a lot of wood right there. Oh, okay. It all makes sense. And they hadn't, like, picked up these logs yet with a wheelbarrow. Or a cart, excuse me. And taken it off somewhere. Well, I think Vivi, being Byzantines, is going to go for tons of spears. And tons of skirms here. Dragonstar, not too certain what his plan is right now. Does he have... Oh, he has Hunt on the back, which he's using the mule cart for. It's a Nomad start, so technically the players could end up anywhere. And Dragonstar finds Vivi's here. Didn't know a dock cost 10,000 wood. Listen, let me create a scenario, okay? What's the situation with the raiders on the sides, guys? Who is paying them? We've got Byzantines versus the Hindustanis. Who is funding the defenses here? I've got lots of food to eat, too. They're stocked for a while. I don't know. Mule cart at the start. Probably fast feudal approach here. There was a part of me that thinks it might be... Oh, you forgot you can actually eat the camels. So you can't eat your starting camel. That would be bad. But you can actually eat the wild camels, which is not normal. And Dragonstar seems aware of that. Does Vivi know he can do that? Because Vivi didn't know he couldn't push in the deer. Where are the camels? Oh, that's just deer. Or ibex, excuse me. Oh, they're over here. I guess it's like not worth it to really look for them. They still only have 140 food. Guys, what do you think about Fast Castle Golems in this scenario for Dragonstar? If you're expecting spears and skirms from Vivi, I don't know if Fast Castle is super achievable. Obviously, it's risky. But you get to Golems, and Golems should destroy. Almost like a Phosphor-style build. I think it could be worth it. Dragonstar's on the way to feudal. A little bit faster than Vivi here. And Vivi walks over to his pile of wood. And actually needs 2 more wood from this to be able to build a lumber camp there. You can't build more mule carts unless, of course, you're the 2 mule cart civs. So. T90, you can also eat camels in real life. They taste like gamey beef. Well, I'm aware you can eat camels in real life. I never really heard anyone's description on what they taste like, though. So, good to know. I don't think I'd really be that excited to try camel. I don't look at a camel and say, man, that looks good. Not that I really do with other things, too. Like, I don't really look... I eat a lot of chicken. And I never look at a chicken when it's alive and say, that looks tasty. I guess that's not really how it works. I have eaten kangaroo. When I was in Australia, that was the very first meal I had, funnily enough. And it was better than I thought it would be. We got an archery range opening here from Dragonstar. And it's going to be the same for Vivi, I imagine. Vivi's going to go spears and skirms. But yeah, I took like crazy flight, of course, like multiple flights to get to Australia. I got in, it was like 8 p.m. and I needed food. I couldn't find breakfast at that time. So we went to a restaurant and I had kangaroo. And then the next day I went on like a nature tour and we saw these cute kangaroos and a wave of guilt. A wave of guilt flooded over me as I watched this cute little family of kangaroos hopping around and being awesome. And I said to the people who were with me, I was like, I feel really bad now because I ate one of those yesterday. And they were like, no, don't feel bad. Kangaroos are invasive. They're horrible. The Australians started to explain about how it's normal over there. So spears and skirms, guys. Spears and skirms. T90 has never seen a family of cows. Listen, I'm used to that, okay? All right? I'm used to that. I was not used to seeing the kangaroos. But yes, I have seen cows with no guilt, I might add. Well, unless it's a baby cow. I'm not eating veal, though, you know? This is what life has come to with this map. It all started with the camels. So, Dragonstar is basically matching the opponent's skirm production. Great scouting, so he sees it's going to be 2 range as well from Vivi. Normally, if you go for double range, you'll have more numbers, but your fletching upgrade will be delayed. And there's the range now for Dragonstar as well. Now, I don't love the fact that Dragonstar is basically going for the exact same build against Byzantines. Like, Byzantines just have the cheaper units. However, you do have cheaper villagers with Hindustanis. So, in some ways, it might feel as though it's doable here. But it is going to be a skirm war. And fletching is already on the way for Vivi. Now, again, this is a team game tournament. The first game is 3 separate 1v1s. The others are all 3v3s. No fletching yet for Dragonstar. Vivi has fletching. And it pays off already. But yeah, because in the first game, LY's Licks won that. If Dragonstar loses this, the first point goes to LYA. Thank you for all the detailed information about what people eat, chat. Thank you. Didn't think my brain would be there today. Fletching on the way. For now, Dragonstar is just going to try and dodge back and forth. And eventually, we could see Castle H, and a couple Knights would be great against this many skirms, but it feels like it's going to be full-on skirm production here. Vivi's found a nice little hill here, but remember, he is really close to all the reinforcements from Dragonstar, so Dragonstar's done a good job to keep up with him here. And Dragonstar should have more units here soon, because he's closer to the reinforcements, and I think Vivi might need to leave the hill. Here comes the other group, though. Yeah, I got lazy and didn't add the nation's flags because we were talking about more important things. I'll do that for the other games. Obviously, like, Capture Rate just resets it when the players change, so. We got Dragonstar from India. We got Vivi from China. Dragonstar for Team BlackSails. And then Vivi for Team LYA. Vivi certainly had more confidence here. Also noticing Dragonstar has a death that's unaccounted for. Maybe he lost a villager to a boar or something. Quick house walls. Just passing here from Vivi. And I, for one, am enjoying this Skirmisher v Skirmisher battle. This is so fun. We'll see who's going to be the first person to add a stable. Who's going to have the guts to add a stable to consider scouts here? Or will they just not? And will they just produce more skirms? There's another range. Well, he's Byzantine, so he says, I'll just continue to add skirms. And, you know, to me, again, I just got to keep going back to Byzantines have cheaper skirms than spears. Going into a skirm war against Byzantines is like, hold on. Just bear with me. Going into a fishing battle against Canadian? No, that's not it. Ooh, I got this. I got this. As a German, going into a humor battle against anyone from anywhere else, okay? Did I just... I'm sorry, did we just lose 500 viewers? It was all jokes. But yeah, it just, you know, skirm war against Byzantines just feels like a losing battle was kind of my point, okay? Minus 7k, I'm sorry. Now, we do have a stable from Dragonstar, and he's going to try and mix in some scouts. The problem is there's so many skirms that the scouts won't actually do anything, and then Vivi can always mix in a spear, random spear or two as well. This is crazy. We might even see 4 ranges. There's really no need. All 3 of these ranges are producing nonstop. Look at the eco. Look at this crazy farming eco from Vivi. My goodness. It's made this look so easy. Even if these skirms are doing 1 damage a hit against everything, when you get to 40 of them, you're pretty close to 1 shot. Oh, look. There's the scout. Whatever will we do against the scout? More skirms. The scout is helping, though. And Dragonstar will need more engagements like this. He's still losing a lot of skirms here. The scout goes down, and now there's another group of skirms. And poor Dragonstar is probably thinking, what on earth have I done? So I don't know how achievable it is because I haven't labbed out the builds. But I would have really liked to have seen a Phosphorus-style fast castle into Golems here. Because if it's full Skirm Spears, and, you know, that build is pretty much set. Like, you know Byzantines are going to do this. A couple Golems can wreck an entire army of Skirms and then get into the eco later on. But again, there's probably downsides to that approach. And Dragonstar's not really that type of all-in, low-economy approach player. And it looks like the first point in this best of 5 is going to go to LYA. And Dragonstar just doesn't want to call it quits. So are you German, T90? I resent that, okay? GG's called. And yeah, that was a very skirmy game. Very skirmy game. Maybe Scout's going to come out a little bit faster for Dragonstar. I don't think the eco is necessarily set for that because there was constantly action in his base. Never looked like he was floating a lot of food, right? Maybe it's because he was paying full price for Skirmishers. But, so first point goes to LYA. And then it will be 3v3s from here, chat. All right. Okay, so this map, I don't have the names memorized here, but I've seen a lot of games in this tournament, and this is a really interesting one. So this map is called Thar Desert. Introducing Team BlackSails, we've got Cosmonaut from Turkey playing as the Georgians. The Pocket is Doomster, a player from India as the Chinese. And then in the blue, we've got Dragonstar playing as the Malians. The score is, sorry guys, the score is 1-0 now for LYA because they won the 1v1 portion. And it looks like I need to tell Capture Age they need to reformat this, sorry. On the other side, we have the favorite for this series, again, who already has their win. And we've got LYA, so basically Team China. We've got Lix. Lix playing as the Vikings. The Pocket is Vivi playing as Vietnamese. And then in the purple, we have Yo playing as the Huns. Now, you've got water on the backside of your base here. But you can't easily, like, take advantage of that area. Where you would take advantage of the water would be down here towards the sea. Now, to do that, if you were in the eastern position, is more complicated because you have to walk pretty far. So usually you don't see this player focus on water at all. But you might see Lix focus on the water. And if Lix gets a whole lot of army, Lix may be able to get those longboats or galleys around the backside. And that could be a big factor in this one is Navy control, as it can control so much of this area long term. If you can't take the back area, you got to go forward, and there's not a whole lot forward. So just things to think about here. So I've seen a lot of different openings on this map. I've seen players even just skip water. Oh, and shoot, the logo. I'm sorry, guys. The logo was set for 1v1s. We'll just move that there. Thank you for the reminder. Also, if it makes life easier, I can actually put Vivi here. That way you guys know who I'm talking about. But, yeah, I've seen all different types of openings work. I think there isn't necessarily an established meta in that you have to play it one way. Just because I have seen the economic approach pay off, which would be the fishing approach. But I've also seen the no-fish, fast army approach work pretty well. And I think the one team which did a really good job with the no-fishing approach was actually the team we'll be casting later today, Condors and Eagles. And that's my old team, Ozone and Matador, and they brought in Running instead of myself. And Running is such a great addition to that team. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, that they punished the fishing approach with some really fast aggression. There's going to be the dock there from Lex. I think like most of the best teams are never going to give up water because water is such an important aspect of the game. But I truly do think that there's opportunities to punish this approach. So T90 bench. No. It was my decision. I said I couldn't play because I'd be seeing family this week. Will there be a Titans League in the future? Ooh. Will there be a Titans League in the future? Will there be a Titans League in the future? I guess we'll see. So yeah, Golden Stone all around, of course. You could get like a little bit of a team wall going. between the houses and eventually be fully walled along the front. Obviously, that takes some time. Chat, what are you thinking about the big trees here? Should I switch it? I've been enjoying the big trees the last couple weeks. Maybe I'll go to small trees. I certainly won't do like big trees this whole tournament. I think there are some instances where I need to be able to see if there's a hole. But overall, I think it makes the maps look a lot better, so. Of course. Half the chat says small trees, please, and half the chat says big chat. You guys can't agree on freaking anything. Of course. Thank you, Tide Hunter. What's up, Pure Hate? Welcome. Pure Hate subscribed and said big trees only. So, he's put his money where his mouth is. That vote carries a little bit more weight. It's not a pay-to-win stream, but it is a pay-to-tree. So, again, you've got the dock approach here from Lix. And he is aware that there's a dock here from Dragonstar. Cosmonaut's up already. So, he's up. He'll be going for scouts. Not a big surprise. And actually, we have some teamwork here from Doomster and from Cosmonaut trying to kill a villager from Vivi. Vivi kept the villager alive here. But fast uptimes here from Team BlackSails. So, guys, like, I know LYA has been playing a lot of team games recently. I think the big thing for them is they're a big sponsor, and I think the sponsor of LYA, actually, they're hosting, like, they're, whoever they are, they sponsored, like, this upcoming, like, Small Nations event that's coming, this near the end of the year, or soon. I actually forget the timeline. I think it's, like, next month. Anyways, so I know they've been playing a lot of team games. I don't know how much training they've actually done on these maps, though. And I know Team BlackSails has done a bunch of training on these maps. Like, every tournament, Dragonstar's teams are always doing tons of practice sets. Because I've heard about some of those results and how some of those games are going. I know that I've seen Yo and Vivi, they haven't been playing 1v1s at all. The 50k event, sponsored by the LY sponsor, big reason behind that is he wants to see Team China do well, so they've been playing those maps and those settings a little bit. Nice aggression here from Team BlackSails. They got off to a nice little start. They were able to get a villager kill, and the scout numbers are out for Cosmonaut. Now, the scouts will slowly regenerate. It is slow, though. So it's not the fastest thing ever. But nice from Cosmonaut to keep his scouts alive. And all the other weak scouts around will not regenerate. Georgians can be really annoying there. We had one fire galley added from Dragonstar, and he's patrolling over towards the fish from Lix. And Lix is going to miss him, and Lix will probably kill Dragonstar's fish then. So we'll see. Both players could lose their fish there. I think for the time being, the communication from Team China is get the walls down, keep these Georgian scouts out, and we even have stone walls from Lix. But Lix was not expecting this fire galley because he's added a couple more fishing ships. So this could be really annoying from him. Dragonstar's lost his fish or is losing his fish, and he's also stonewalling. And Lix actually kind of undecided there. He pulled back for a second because of this pressure. And now we got scouts from Dragonstar, and Dragonstar is going to find a villager kill from Lix here as well. So this is really good from Dragonstar. Disrupting the fish from Lix. He is going to sail away with them, but still. And killing a couple vills and denying the wall off, too. There could be more army on the way. And here comes army from Doomster. And it really felt like the approach as another villager goes down was to have Lix focus fully on water and not be disrupted on land. And he is going to be disrupted on land, and he doesn't have an army to defend from this. So this means Vivi has to support. But Yo was able to get through on the Cosmonaut. And the walls from Doomster didn't quite finish yet. But, I mean, they're soon going to be finished. And that's only 3 scouts. So I think this is really good for Team BlackSails. And this is the preparation. This is the practice. This is the coordination that team games... that you rely on in team games. And I'm really liking the confidence here. And how active with the army BlackSails has been. They have not looked at this like, oh, we're the underdogs. Let's play defensive. They've gone for the complete opposite approach from the start of Feudal Age. And god damn, what a tough position for Lix. Now, Lix will have fish. He will have the water control. But I think they'd want the water control player to be in Castle Age. They'd want him on gold. They'd want him fully walled. I mean, all this army now can kind of head this way. Look at this. Lix doesn't see this. So Vivi's thinking they're going to try and keep this open. And now Cosmonaut's here too. And Cosmonaut's probably communicating. Guys, like, loop around back. If we all get over to Yo's base or somebody else here, we could 3v1 somebody, and they're not expecting us right now. And Doomster finishes that wall, and I think Team BlackSails looking good. Team BlackSails looking great, in my opinion. Sky's kind of the limit from here. Their eco's relatively untouched. Now, Team LYA, they're going to communicate that there's something's up here, because they haven't seen the army, and now they see Dragonstar. So if you see Dragonstar, you're probably expecting the other army to show up somewhere. Here, though, Yo gets hit. And now we got Vivi getting hit and loses 2 more Vills. And this is before we even see the archers from Doomster, which is still around. Not the biggest army ever. Follow-up army now from Dragonstar. And they're desperate to stop these walls. We got Cosmonaut and Dragonstar here. There's another wall villager here, though. So the walls could come down. It's likely Doomster won't get through. And Yo has enough scouts to defend this. Someone asks, are teams allowed to be in a Discord call together? Yes, of course. Of course. They're all in a call together. They're not going to be using in-game chat like a diplomacy game or something. I think Yo will be able to manage this somewhat. He's produced the scouts to do so, but he still loses a Vil and is still delaying his Castle Age time. And this whole game has been BlackSails taking big hits against LIA. This has been all BlackSails, with very few exceptions. Yo will try and get the clear up here. It is 1v3, but he has lots of numbers. It feels like he will be okay. But man, oh man, this has been a great start for Team BlackSails. The big thing here is the uptimes, right? Yo hasn't clicked up yet. Another villager goes down. Wow, crazy from Dragonstar, Doomster, and Cosmonaut. And Lix is going to sling. Lix is going to stay in Feudal. There's a heavy tax associated with this. And he is going to send resources to Vivi now so Vivi can click up at a proper time, because Vivi's not even close to clicking up. No water production from Dragonstar. So Lix will stay in Feudal Age for a very long time. It will be 2 players in Castle Age for Team China. The 2 best players, Vivi and Yo. And there's really no question that those are the 2 best players in China, right? I mean, there are some other good talents, but it feels like it's been those 2 for a very long time. I think the Chinese player that comes to mind that you might think of as, you know, in talking points for number 1, number 2 would maybe be Tim back in the day. That would maybe take you back to 2015, 2016. Crossbows here from Doomster, right there on Lix's gold. Lix should have had a tower here, but I think he was just actually mining the stone to get the tower. Slinging is heavily taxed. Heavily taxed. It's not something that I would say is really strong. But it can be in key situations. I have a video next week on a sling situation, which was crazy. Yeah, Paladin was also really good. Paladin is more of a team game specialist, but yeah. He's kind of retired now. So China knows they're behind now, and that 3 stables from Yo are an indicator that he's pretty much aware of that. And Cosmonaut actually sitting only on 1 stable right now. Could be a little risky, actually. Not sure if I love that. I'd prefer to see at least 2 stables. Dragonstar is going to be going stables as well, and he's going 3. So that's probably the what's been communicated now. And Vivi is going to have a massive army. Like, Vivi's army is going to give them a chance back into this. But Yo's got to stay alive. until Vivi gets over here. Ah, Castle. Okay, so Castle, this makes sense why Cosmonaut didn't go multiple stables. He wants to go for Manaspa instead. Nice find there from Yo. That's really nice. Getting extra value from the scouts and killing off a bunch of crossbows. It's really nice. And now there's 33 Vietnamese crossbows for Vivi. This is very doable for Team China. They actually have the population lead right now. And Lix is slinging. So in a sling scenario, you want to almost fall back here. And you want to keep your 3 Castle Age players healthy. This is a very dangerous moment right now for Team BlackSails. If they can get back home, maintain their numbers, things could be okay. Remember, Cosmonaut's going to be joining at some point here soon with Manaspa. But yeah, you do not want to be taking fights until your crossbow player has ballistics, which is not, which has happened, okay. Or until more Manaspa come in here, I would say. But also, when you are, like, when you're in this position with 3 players in Castle Age, you also don't want to, like, sit back. So you're kind of torn on what to do. Now, you're paying a tax on every resource that you send. So the tax that's showing up there, who knows how these freaking taxes are spent, am I right? But that is whatever resource you're sending. And Doomster's going to come in alone to try and pressure Lix. Lix is just taking the back golds for now. And Lix is stonewalled, so Lix is kind of fine. God, Vivi's army is crazy. 40 crossbows with thumb ring and full armor and attack. He's also going to have... He's Vietnamese, right? So he has the extra HP. And then Yo's going to have, like, 20 knights. Oh, man, this could be really good here for LYA. I don't think that Doomster's crossbows can get home. This is most of his army. He's still trying to mass more at home. They could maybe assume at this point that Sling is involved. Because Lix had such a rough position and Lix still isn't up. I think Sling might have been part of the initial strat too, by the way. That takes me back to the days where it was a lot more common before all the taxes were introduced and whatnot. Some tournaments actually have bans on it. This tournament does not. So, like, ban it till Castle Age at least. Big fight. It's that big ball of crossbows that they're going to want to kill. If they can kill those yellow crossbowmen, this could be good for BlackSails. Population super close. That's still... There's a whole lot of yellow there. Some of the knights in Manaspa are coming in, though. Doomster using his crossbows the whole time on the crossbows from Vivi. And he never got jumped on there by Yo. He was able to keep his mass alive. And so I think this fight is more than acceptable for BlackSails. My worry was that the 2 separate groups of crossbows weren't going to be able to meet up for Doomster. And we've got Imp for Vivi. He's imping right now. He's 1 TC. Crazy play from Fat Dragon. And there's no one close to Imp on the other side because they're booming on 3 TCs. So they'll have massive eco lead. But now they need to kill that crossbow army even more. This is like... The initial sling gives you a chance to recover. The next sling gives you an injection of army at this stage. And this is like the last little attempt with this. There's going to be 15 Manaspa, 20 knights, and like 40 crossbows. They can definitely try and take a fight here soon. But how soon is soon? Doomster did end up getting his wood upgrade. It took him some time. He did end up getting his wood upgrade, though. Not bowsaw, but he got double bit at least. All right. Keep an eye on those numbers. And the Hun production speed from the stables, really satisfying here. Yo's 2 TCs, 3 TCs actually. So Yo's booming as well. I don't know, guys. I've seen it enough times with these players. It feels like history tells me that the best players can get the job done in these situations where they've just got the better army. Here we go, though. This is the moment you want to fight before the upgrades come in. And Yo and Vivi just going to back away now. They don't want to lose any crossbows before Bracer comes in and Arbalest. And your heart just sinks if you're BlackSails. You're like, what? Are you kidding me? Now what do we do here? Well, you need castles at home, actually. Castles on the front of your base would be good. Like, a castle here for Dragonstar is so needed. Finding the engagements is going to be really difficult. Lix just got a call from his credit card company saying there's a lot of suspicious transactions. Did you mean to make this purchase? And Lix says, yes. All of those transactions were meant to go to those two individuals. They were my friends. They're like, sir, are you sure that you're not being scammed? They're like, nope. They've offered me protection. Yo has also clicked up. This is just crazy. The knight number, the Manaspa number is so good. But it's taken time. Like, maybe if it would have been full knights from Cosmonaut instead of the choice of Manaspa, they could have had more numbers early. Panic time here. There's the castle. They're doing all the right things. They're adding more stone walls as well. They're not getting anywhere close to this army. If they can all three get to Imp, it will be 3 Imp players against 2. Stone walls will go up. I'd like to see the fortified wall upgrade too, to be honest. They could maybe consider an engagement here if they feel like they've got this army trapped. But who is trapped who here? Doomster, you're Chinese. Get the Great Wall Tech. Get fortified wall. Come on, man. Also, big raid here. Dragonstar killed some of the reinforcements, as well as some of the villagers there from Vivi. Vivi's only 44 vills. And I think there's going to be another castle back here. I mean, this wall's about to go down. They're about to be in. And they have to fight this now. I think they have to try before the units get through, honestly. Because at least the Arbalest can't run. You have Manaspa, you have Knights. They have to go through. They cannot let these units through. Doomster, sacrifice your whole life to get the university down. Ah! That's so rough. 2 minutes away from Imp for all the BlackSails players. Yo now is going to have all the time in the world, people. 91 villagers, untouched. And the TC for Doomster is going to go down. That's actually not his Imp TC. That would have been my Imp TC. I would not have thought of it. And I would not have gone Imp in the back TC. And Imp would have been denied. That's not the case. Still has 42 crossbows. But the losses they're taking pretty insane. Now, Lix is on the way to Castle H. Or Lix could boom up. And Yo and Vivi just so freaking good. I still think this is a game, though. I still think BlackSails, as long as they conserve their numbers and they get Imp upgrades, they can kill this. Will they be able to afford upgrades? We'll see. Like right now, Dragonstar is waiting. And Yo is getting Paladin now. 2 minutes away from Paladin. Crazy. I like the re-wall here. Oh, it hasn't happened, actually. Cosmonaut needs to re-wall that. And Doomster's now coming in with Arbalest and Bracer. Cosmonaut lost his TC. Still has a lot of his eco in the back. Doesn't have a lot of gold control. Yo's building a forward castle 90 seconds away from Paladin. And that's about the amount of time it's going to take Cosmonaut to get his armor for his Manaspa. And for Dragonstar to get to Cavalier and armor. If they could stop Yo's new Paladins from joining, though, that's something. And then they can kill this, hopefully, and then deal with everything else. But yikes. Behind this, Lix is just going to, boom. And Lix will be in this game. I mean, it has 73 eco now. He'll be at 100 eco before you know it. And maybe he goes for Berserks or something later on. Here we go. 30 seconds away from the upgrades for Dragonstar and for Yo. And armor is now in for Cosmonaut. They're going to take the fight. Honestly, you just don't want Yo to get Paladin. You want to take care of these Arbs. Vivi's had such a good game. And they will finally clear this up. And maybe they still have a chance here if this gets cleared up. Yo? Oh, Yo's going to run through! No, that's so important that they keep him out. A re-wall there from Doomster. And then these Paladins would have been stuck on the outside. It would have given them time. But now Yo getting through again is not gonna help. Oh, man. Because I think with the rewall there, the military numbers they have can actually hold. They have more numbers than the opponent. And they can stabilize this. But now, Doomster's going to be in full stabilized mode. But not in the, you know, the way that he wants. Castle will fall. That would have happened anyways. Treb goes down. What you don't want is for Yo to just run into the back corner right now. Like, that's what Yo should probably do. Split some units up. Yo also starting to trade already. And we have trade starting as well for Licks in the back. Big fights, though. These are not elite Manaspa. I don't think Cosmonaut can afford that. Actually, a lot of their golds are and stones are still on the front. Dragonstar is the main player who can get gold right now. Dragonstar does have Farimba, though. And Vivi has 38 ARBs, and Doomster has 60. He's going to wedge himself into this little gap. Yeah, all the Arbalests for Vivi will go down. A lot will go down for Doomster, too, but look at the population, guys. Again, 3 players in Imp against 2 players in Imp. And BlackSails is kind of holding this. Now, will they be able to push this back with all these Trebs and castles here from the opponents? I don't know. This castle getting denied and now destroyed from Cosmonaut is not ideal. But if they can start their own trade right now, things could be good for them in time. Still 81 villagers for Doomster and lots of army. You still have like 120 eco for sorry, Dragonstar and lots of army. Cosmonaut's kind of struggling. He did take a lot of heavy losses and is very exposed against raids. Such a good spot from Yo to drop these castles. Like, if these castles weren't here, engagements could be taken. And Yo probably tells Vivi, all right, I'm leaving you now. Just fall back to the castle. And he's in again. And it's just, it's just so painful. This one, I'm not really sure what you do, right? Obviously, earlier, I think Doomster could have rewalled. But now, Doomster's got to go home. He's got to ask for help. And he's losing his economy. And you know who's not losing their economy? Licks. Licks' eco is fine. Licks is booming. Vivi's booming. Yo is booming. And Paladins will beat Manaspa. Elite Manaspa is a bit of a different story. But these are not elite. The Cosmonaut struggling now. Losing Vills everywhere. Does snipe the Trebs, though, to keep himself in this. Bit of a raid here from Dragonstar. We also have Arbs from Doomster. Now, a hole in the wall. Or, I don't know, like mining that stone there. Like, anything like that would be crazy here. That stone's actually 200 stone away from being mined. Because the trade has started. Like, you don't have defenses back here. All your castles are on the front right now if you're Team China, so you need to make sure those walls stay up. I actually wouldn't hate Doomster attacking the walls with his Arbs. That's what they did to him. He'll be through, but Vivi's going to be here. And Yo is still back here. Dragonstar is here, though, with Trebs. Dragonstar will take out this castle. Doomster starting to get hit. Cosmonaut still somehow having the units to defend from this. He will hold this. But, guys, I'm worried about the gold. Like, this has definitely become a gold situation for the BlackSails team. And I don't know how they're going to get it. They're going to have to trade. There is some gold from Dragonstar. But the trade for Yo is up to 30 trade cards already. For Vivi as well, 30 trade cards. Just amazing play from LYA. Crazy. To get themselves out of the hole. And this is what the most experienced teams do. Vivi and Yo just played slightly better than the opponents in a 2v3 scenario. That imp timing from Vivi is what started it all. It set up Yo, and they knew the trade would be important. There are a couple random units back here. Looks like maybe they ran through a hole somewhere. When you start to see the opponent is making light cav instead of cavalier, that's when you know they're running low on gold. And Yo will never have to stop making paladin with this much trade. Castle will stay up. Might be worth sending Cavalier over there to take out that castle if you're Dragonstar. Doomster saved these Arbs, actually, which is important. And things have stabilized a little bit. Remember, we haven't seen Lix actually fighting, though. And Lix is going to go for the killer blow, guys. Longboat's in queue. Remember, you can use the Navy to control this area. I mean, I'm laughing because it's just perfect. It's like the map was designed for this exact moment. Navy in here? Longboats in here? Yikes. Could be galleons, too. Either one. Just Navy in general there is not something that the others have an answer to. BlackSails have to push mid. They have to push mid. If they could push mid now, then, you know, maybe Lix has to contribute on land. Maybe Lix's eco gets hit. Maybe they get in the trade, right? There's lots of possibilities there. They are starting to add some trade, I'm noticing. And that is going to just be a big problem. Their farming eco will be ranged. Their lumberjacks... They haven't been able to expand much towards the middle. They're trying to get that space back, though. Manaspa still not elite, by the way. Cosmonaut, every time I look at him, he's got, like, no gold. It's been a struggle. Dragonstar tries to break through. Dragonstar has had a really nice game here, but Yo's going to wall it up. Yo keeps him safe. And then here, Yo and Vivi continue to push back. 50 trade cards for Vivi. The Navy's already starting to mass. The upgrades are going to start to come in, and BlackSails has got to be like, are you kidding me? They had such a good start. But Yo and Vivi just played so solid here. Vivi's actually going to switch to Cav Archers. I like that choice. And Paladin will beat the Cavalier every time. There's more Paladin on the field than there are Cavalier. There's way more trade for Vivi and for Yo and for Lix than the other team. And the trade's not possible. And we have the GG from Dragonstar, the GG from Cosmonaut, and the G parentheses, 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 G parentheses, parentheses from Doomster. Might be a bit of a hotkey thing there, but that's a new one. What a game! That was just such a good game. Man, I want to go back. Like, obviously, LYA is just insane, right? They're one of the favorites for this tournament. Their team has been so good for years. So I want to start with that because give them full credit for managing this. But when this happens, you then have to say, okay, well, where was the moment for BlackSails? Because it was 3 players against 2, and they were all booming. They had a nice little eco lead, etc. And, you know, I think the moment would have been the thing that I think about is not trying to find an engagements before against the crossbows necessarily before Imp, right when they were sitting back. I think that's the natural moment to think about. But actually, why didn't they have the numbers to take engagements before Imp? And if I had to guess, I think it has to do with the fact that Cosmonaut waited for Manaspa. Now, that's a tricky thing to say because Manaspa are seen as such a good unit right now. But if you go back and you think about the openings and the positions, we really didn't have 3 players flooding army for this team at all because this player had to wait for that castle. And I can't get to the right screen here. Here we go. So, like, his eco's set up to produce 3 stable knights early, if he so wished to. But we go back a little bit further. Okay, he's got 58 vills, right? Actually, didn't go back far enough. Go back far enough. Go back far enough. Go back far enough. Here. Okay, right here. He's got like 43 vills. Dragonstar's got 43 vills. Dragonstar's going 3 stables. So I think, like, it just took him a long time to get the Manaspa numbers up. And I could be completely wrong, right? Maybe if you just go Knights here with the Georgians, they lose anyways, and everyone's like, well, why didn't you go Manaspa? Manaspa are the stronger unit. But it never had a competitive army count until right around the time that the others hit Imp. Just looking at the army counts there. So maybe that was it. If it was double Knight with the crossbows, maybe they find big engagements against Yo and against Vivi, are battering on the walls and delaying one of those 2. But honestly, just a really good game from LYA. And they're the favorites for a reason. And you can see the res collected here. Look at the gold. Again, I'm going to reach out to Capture Age. I already did about fixing this. Sorry for covering up some of the numbers here, but you should have memorized this is wood, right? This is food. This is gold. This is stone. And you could see the resources sent. And then this is trade profit here. So thousands of gold was coming in from both these three, excuse me, with the trade profit. So GG. Feel like the sling had a big impact. The sling did have a big impact. It did. All right. So game number 3, again, game 1 was actually a series of 1v1s where LYA won those 1v1s. And game number 2 was really close and tightly contested. Now BlackSails needs to win 3 straight here. And we've got similar positions. Dragonstar is going to switch colors, though. Dragonstar is going to go pocket on this side. Yo actually switches positions, too. So the player color affects their position in the game. So it might be a little confusing if you watch the other games. We got Cosmonaut flank as the Incas. We got pocket here. Dragonstar Romans. We got flank Mayans then for Doomster up against Vivi's Portuguese. Yo's Franks. And then Lix's Goths. Now, Lix had walked to the middle. There's a lot of lions in the middle in this map. And there's a lot of elephants. And Lix walked to the middle to take an elephant. And then we actually have, look at this. We have the eagle from Doomster bringing in an elephant. And then we have the eagle from Cosmonaut bringing in an elephant. Wow. So we had the Goth pick because of the instant loom and the hunt lasting longer. And also killing them faster. And then we had the Mezzo pick so they can use their eagles and then heal them up inside the TC. That's actually really good preparation here. Now, everyone also starts with a camel scout. So you start with a normal scout and you start with a camel scout, which is interesting. And we have a pause here. So this is actually good. Gives us some time to look at other things. Stone and gold around the TC, but exposed. Wood kind of towards the middle and also exposed. There are monkeys here, guys. Okay, they're called smoke monkeys, I think. It won't let me click them. Anyways, they won't attack. It's confusing because they do look like Furious the Monkey Boy. But if there's ever smoke monkeys on any map, they don't actually attack.
Yes.
There was a bunch of lag there. We're back in business. Okay. And Yo's going to find an elephant. So I guess you don't have an elephant near your TC at all. So you kind of want at least one. Yeah, there's a smoke monkey walking around. And Yo's just going to block with his Vil. Yo apparently was lagging. That's a really good time to pause there, Yo. Don't complain about lag after. You pause and you complain about the lag before. And okay, so it seems like everyone's going to have an elephant. Dragonstar is actually using his Camel Scout to bring in elephant number 2. I mean, if you have 2 scouts, I think this is what everyone should be doing. Using your scouts. It's kind of nice for the Mezzo player because they could just continue to heal up inside their TC. But yeah, Cosmonaut just brought in something, or maybe he took an engagement. Because his Camel Scout's a little bit weak. And here comes number 2 for Doomster. So my expectation here still is archers and scouts. I think the pocket will go for scouts and the flanks will go for archers. And I think this could be a really fast game. If it goes to Imp, though, I guess we talk about how there's gold on the outside. But with all the wood in the middle, like, this is going to be complete carnage, man. I saw a couple games, a couple practice games on this map, and also some of the qualifier games on this map, and lots of villager bodies on the ground. No loom for Yo, by the way. You ever play the game and convince yourself that you could do what these guys do? This is a small moment of confidence that I think most of you probably don't possess. No loom, walking in the whole way. Not a doubt in Yo's mind that he would lose this villager there. That was just super smooth. It did eventually get loom there, but it was just his normal loom timing. I don't think the deer will be worth going for. I think The extra stone in the middle looks cool. Is this supposed to be a volcano, chat? I don't know if this location is based on somewhere in the world. It may be. It kind of looks like a volcano of sorts. Got like the volcanic rock with the stone. And then like the actual rocks. Maybe it's a dormant volcano. It looks like a bit of a lake there. Yosemite? I don't think it's Yosemite, but it might be something similar. I don't know. Someone can look it up. Someone look up Fugo Mara. See if that's a location. Yet again, good builds from Team BlackSails. They seem to have like ironed out these builds. Man, the amount of times I've seen this in team game tournaments where like in the early stages, underdogs have practiced more and lab out these really cool strats and uptimes. They get the strong lead, and then eventually the best teams bring it back. I remember that so many times over the years. Villager down for Yo, by the way. Could lose another one here. I think he's going to be okay. And this is kind of like game number 2 now. Where they had the fast start. They got some nice villager picks. Okay, is apparently the map here is based on Mount Bromo, which is a map that was also made by Hank. But now we need to look up Mount Bromo to know if Mount Bromo is based on somewhere. Oh god, this could be really bad for Doomster. Oh, he garrisoned his spear. What a weird situation there. But he had a spearman and had put it in the TC. Could have been way worse. But he is pop capped and he does lose a Vil. So one of his ranges can't produce. That's going to hurt. Oh goodness, we got man-at-arms from Lix and forward villagers. Let's go. Let's go. Lix is the player to do this. Cosmonaut signaled it. He's going to let Dragonstar know. And Lix wants to drop a tower here. Okay, Lix. Full infantry from Lix. No archer play. And villagers will die here. There's just so much happening. It's expected that you're going to have some exposed vills. And in Lix's case, he just loses one of the 2 forward vills here. We'll see if she survives. Thank you for the map context, guys. That way later on people on YouTube can at least read it. Yeah, I'm not sure this forward is really doing much yet for Lix. Micro has to be on point here with the archers for Cosmonaut. Kind of a tough spot for him. Doesn't have the numbers he would want. Villager's still just casually building the tower. Yo's in here with support. Archers go down. Man-at-arms have definitely been a real threat. But meanwhile, over here, Vivi's going to have some problems. Doomster is in. And Doomster also has Fletching. And Fletching is not in yet for Vivi because his blacksmith got denied. And he's going to have to force drop a tower down. The engagement actually isn't the worst. He killed the same amount of archers as he lost. And his tower goes up. And the tower might actually help with a few kills here too. Yeah, nice job there from Vivi to stabilize because it could have been worse. Tower did go up here for Lix. And Dragonstar's under a whole lot of pressure. Okay. Whose base have we not looked at here, chat? This is a bit of a problem for BlackSails. Yo. We looked there. He lost 1 Vil ever since. He's just doing his thing. Not taking any damage. He's got that smooth eco. It'd be the same with Cosmonaut, actually. Cosmonaut we haven't really had to look to. But you do not want Yo to be in a position where he is untouched. If you're the BlackSails team. You want to get some pressure over to him. As quickly as possible. Yo again. Able to use the mobility of the scouts. Bit of an interesting engagement. He noticed that 1 archer was weak. And Yo... continue to attack here, killing off so many archers. This is so good for him. When I looked at the initial numbers, I never expected Yo to actually engage there. I think that might have been the same for Cosmonaut. BlackSails still with more army. We've got a lot more army. They just need to maybe combine their forces and get over towards Yo. Vivi can't tower this. Oh, this is smart, actually. He's walking 1 villager back and forth to afford the stone for a tower there. Just going to say, since he towered his wood, he can't tower his gold. Vivi chasing down Doomster. Yo sees this, though. So he should know that's happening. And then that one villager from Lix still there tried to build another tower. Dragonstar had to counter tower it. I'd be so annoyed. Like, who does this? This is a Lix thing, man. And it delays the pocket. And Yo has been chilling. He's big chilling. Oh, man. Yo kills a couple archers. Should back away now. There's 2 groups of archers he's up against. There's no archers whatsoever for Lix, remember. So that explains the army discrepancy. And Lix leaves his tower, quick walls in, and is building another tower now. So I guarantee you Dragonstar is asking for an archer to deal with this. So annoying. Yo gets armor. And the archer army that Doomster had is not with Cosmonaut anymore. It's over here. He's distracted somewhere else. I think here. So he's microing here because Vivi's come to his base. He dropped the tower on his wood, so it looked like it was bad. They've traded evenly. And here comes Dragonstar with Cosmonaut. They're going to try and double Yo. And still, this villager's building a tower. Still, it's an annoyance for Dragonstar. But just not a lot of army right now. Like, LYA needs more army. And in this case, I think Yo needs to go double stable or triple stable. Can they kill her? She's 1 hit away from death. But Lix has nothing else to focus on right now. Can they kill her? Big army over towards Yo. Yo pushing back the archers again with support from Vivi. The villager gets quick walled and gets doinked through the diagonal. Dude, Dragonstar's so thankful that villager went down. Oh my goodness. Where's that little army, though, from Doomster? See, Doomster and Cosmonaut, they had multiple opportunities to coordinate here. The first time, Doomster was busy in his base. The second time, which would be now, he's chosen to go this way. And that could be good or that could be bad. It doesn't seem like Yo's expecting it. Yo will react. Nice job here from BlackSails. There's some weak archers in here, so they might go down. But still, that's some good damage. Also, good communication to deal with that. And Cosmonaut's got 17 archers. Doomster's got 17 archers. Their army count's ridiculous. They should win this game based on army count. Can they get all their army together, and can they really apply a devastating blow? I don't know. Especially if Vivi drops towers and is on the way to Castle Age. But yeah, we've got Castle Age on the way for Yo and for Vivi. They are down 20 army as a team. I'm going to switch to military mode real quick. Look where the army is. So a lot of that army for Team BlackSails is advancing over towards Yo right now. Yo has not built a tower yet, so if this got bad, he could. And here he tries to get to the other side of these archers and is really affecting the pathing with the body block. Cosmonaut's still backing away. Here comes the support. There's a whole lot of army from Doomster down here in the south, moving over towards Vivi. Vivi doesn't have any army at home right now. But, like, guys, the best players are going to recognize that they are exposed somewhere and they haven't seen a player for a while, right? So there should be recognition from Vivi right now that says, I don't see Doomster. I need a tower. And, well, he is towering. I was going to say it'd be pretty epic if the tower was up by the time I looked over there, but the fact that he is towering is important. I'm just not sure about the lack of commitment to the tower. This tower could be denied. Vivi's microing here, and now he's getting hit on the gold, and the tower didn't go up. If that tower was up, that could have changed things. Doomster, Dragonstar, Cosmonaut, all on the way to Castle Age. Let's not forget about Lix. Lix is also on the way to Castle Age. Lix is going to go maybe Huskarls here. No way he's going to get to Huskarls in a team game on a map like this. Huskarls could be crazy, right? Because that military count for BlackSails is primarily archers. And Doomster sticks around. Clearly, Vivi's a little distracted on the other side, or maybe he's happy with these losses. Yeah, Vivi just going to patrol in after that. And there's the castle for Lix. What's up, Mijio? What's up, Varion? Hello, Possum. Yeah, if LY wins this game, the series is over. We have another set after. What is this crap? Lix with a random monastery to steal a relic. Gotta love Lix energy here. Raids coming in for Doomster now. Doomster will have the same number of crossbows as Vivi, but doesn't have the momentum. TC from Yo. Yo's going to have Knights. 3 stables from him. Oh, Villager down. Wow, Dragonstar snipes that Vill. That's sick. Ballistics on the way for Doomster. Ballistics not yet in or being researched by Vivi. And we've got Anarchy from Lix. So he could produce Huskarls from barracks, and he's building a barracks to the side of Cosmonaut's base. I love Lix so much. Lix is just the best. The thing is, Huskarls will die to Knights. So Knight crossbow is better than Huskarl crossbow, in my opinion. But if you're annoying with it, and you're just streaming random units into people's ecos, and they're not expecting it, that is the aspect that you can't necessarily account for. Knights from Yo, all over Doomster right now. Dragonstar's here in support with some Knights. Not looking too hot for Doomster. Crossbows from Vivi, I think, are just going to move along over towards Dragonstar. Now it happens. Lix is going to stream Huskarls into this eco, which isn't fully walled, and how could it be? But we've got crossbows from Cosmonaut. He didn't know about the castle until just a moment ago. And so his army's got some damage, but now he's up against Huskarls. So he has Huskarls at home and needs help. He's got Huskarls clearing up his crossbows and needs help. And yet again, Vivi and Yo, they're pretty much untouched at the moment. Lix is just perfect setup play for the other two. It's just what he's the best at. He's the best setup player in the game. You might be like, well, 290 technically other people could set up. Yeah, sure, but like Lix overperforms based on his 1v1 level in tournaments. That's kind of what I mean. And he's got really unique style while doing so. Some of my greatest memories of casting this game was the 2v2 World Cup, and Lix's performance in that tournament was just so good. Vill count now rising for LYA. And I should mention that Cosmonaut can make slingers. So Incas thankfully can do that. That's good against Huskarl. So he can still advance forward here. That's great. But the issue isn't Cosmonaut necessarily. The issue would be Dragonstar is falling behind Yo. And Yo dropping TC number 3. In a pretty good spot to produce Knights with one of the best civs in the game to do it. That was the set that made you play AoE 2? That's awesome. That's awesome. I've thought about hosting another 2v2 World Cup, but the calendar is just jam-packed, and basically I'd have to pick and choose away from other things, and there's other team game events and all types of things, so don't know if it'll happen anytime soon, but again, I think it's one of the best formats for team games. Big fight here. This is a really nice engagement for the Knights from Dragonstar. Yeah, but it seems like it's still going to go Vivi's direction. Vivi and Yo's direction, that is. Huskarls are streaming in. Guys, Cosmonaut doesn't know there's a barracks here, just producing random Huskarls into his base. He's probably so confused. Like, how is this happening? Meanwhile, Lix is just snagging relics on the outside. Like it's the easiest thing. There is pressure coming in. Now, Lix can't easily deal with this with army because there's slingers. But Lix is on 3 TCs. He's going to have siege at home. He's got TCs everywhere. He's played it perfectly. And Dragonstar needs help now from Doomster. And Doomster will be here to support. Has enough crossbows to help out. Raids from Dragonstar on Yo right now are critical. Sorry, we'll switch to small trees next series because you can't see that, for example, but they're walled out. Can you imagine playing without small trees on these maps? It'd be brutal. 30 eco lead for LYA. They're behind an army, but a lot of that army is cosmonauts. And that army cannot do anything right now. That's the issue. I can't think of an area to focus on with that army. It's just kind of... It's not a waste, per se, but it's just not accomplishing anything. And the lesser army team is somehow finding damage with the momentum they have on the others. A monk actually stays alive, hilariously enough. Army comes through here. Cosmonaut has to back away. 3 TCs, soon to be 4 TCs for Lix. And Lix might have the villager lead soon. Every single player on LYA has over 70 villagers at the moment. And then we've got Dragonstar down at 55. Cosmonaut and Doomster in the 60s. And more army coming. I think, knowing Vivi, he may buy a castle soon and drop a castle somewhere. He's got pretty healthy stone count, but he's not mining anymore. It feels like if you see this TC and you have an army advantage here, this hill would be a really nice spot. Yo, Sensitive Boy, Rusty Shackle, Akate, hello guys. It's very rare that 3 messages in a row in chat is all resub messages. Appreciate it. That's a lot of slingers. The issue with slingers in a team game is they suck against everything but infantry. So if Yo just comes over here, I guess the siege is fine for now. But if Yo ever gets knights over there, the slingers will all die. It's kind of along the same lines of what I was explaining before, why going for like camels or pikemen or skirmishers sometimes in team games can be awkward. Because there's always another player out there that can mix something else in. It is very map dependent though, of course. The BlackSails, they'd fall to the losers bracket. They wouldn't be eliminated. But they'd fall to the losers bracket if they lose this. 3 relics in this monastery now for Lix. Andy's about to get relic number 4 here. Andy's about to build TC number 5 here. But yeah, this would be the last game of the series for them. And I think they played really well. Like, game number 2, they were so close to winning. Game number 1, which is a series of 1v1 games, they might never have expected they had a chance there. But I felt like they played really solid. Unfortunately, LYA is just looking sharp. And Lix was a massive factor in this one. Lix affected 2 players, which gave Yo and Vivi a simpler job, I would say. And now is when you see the benefit of all the villagers. 20 knights for Yo. Vivi's 30 seconds away from Imp. Lix is just clicked up to Imp. Okay, Cosmonaut. He needs something, right? He needs something extreme, and he knows it. He's going to drop a forward castle here on Lix. I like the energy. You need it. And the GG's going to be called. Because, well, everything else is just a problem. I'm sure they felt like this game was over for a while here. Because Dragonstar's was, you know, his eco was disrupted. Doomster's eco was disrupted. I mean, even Cosmonaut, I know his Vil count is nice, but his eco was continuously disrupted. But once the others hit Imp, that's what was really going to be the final blow. Vivi would have crazy upgrades. And there's barracks over here from Lix, and he's going to have Huskarls here. I mean, it's just amazing play. So LYA wins 3-0 here. Again, said it all before. Really good performance, though, from BlackSails. And BlackSails will play... quick look at the bracket real quick. Who's BlackSails going to be up against? You know, I guess we don't know because we don't know who lost yet. But they'll be in the losers bracket against the team that loses between Dreamers and Barbatacos. You probably don't know who's on these teams. So Dreamers, I actually have to remind myself. Barbatacos is, I think it's Dogao and Kingston. And, because it's Mexicans. So it's Kingston. I think he's the taco. Where's Barba come in, though? Let me double check this. Anyone know off the top of their head? Unfortunately, Liquipedia doesn't have it linked because these aren't like established, consistent teams. So you can't just click them and see the players that are there. But yeah, I believe Dreamers is like a Turkish team or something. Oh no, that's an Argentinian team. Dreamers is an Argentinian team. I'll look it up, see if I can find it here. Oh, it actually shows right here. So the Barbitacos is Miguel, Dogal, and Kingston. That's a really good team. So they're playing up against Dreamers, which I think is the Argentinian guys. Yeah. So they have a very diverse squad that can be good in different settings. On the open maps, they'd probably go for like Lucho, Lucky, and Nikov. On the more closed maps, they might go for like FedEx and Monos mixed in. Gary is a player who's been around a long time. He's really good on Nomad style maps, which are also in the prize pool or map pool. So